6th. Thank you. We'll call the NSSA Budget Committee for May 6, 2024 to order at 12:02 p.m. Roll call and declarations of conflict of interest. Ron Evans. Here. Michelle Tesdell.
Here.
Denny Nielsen is here. Okay, Emily.
Here.
Laura Harris.
Here.
Stacy Cook.
Here.
If I missed anyone. Any conflict of interest to declare? Are there any public members available for comment?
We haven't received any.
I'm sorry?
We haven't received any notice.
Okay. Hearing none, I think we'll move immediately to an issue that's going to require a motion, and that is to appoint the community members to the budget committee. May I have a motion to appoint Michelle, Laura, and Stacy to the budget committee for 2024-25?
And just as a point of order, Ron, we're not on the budget committee, so you cannot make the motion. And he cannot make, he's not on the budget committee because he helped prepare the budget. So he can't serve both.
I need your help, Emily.
Yeah, I'll make a motion. I was just waiting for Laura to stop talking. I'll make a motion to appoint them.
Second. Can I second?
Second.
Yes, she can, because she was appointed at the last meeting.
Okay. The motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? Motion passes unanimously. We will now move to opening the North Santiam Sewer Authority Budget Committee meeting. Do we have to close this meeting to open the public meeting, or can we just keep it all in?
Well, what you actually want to do, so to answer your question, you do not have to close this meeting to go into the hearing, but before you open the hearing, you want Ron and I to present the budget to you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay, no problem. Item D?
I missed.
No
item
problem.
A for Denny. So, Ron
You're
and
just-
Laura, will you please present the budget before we open the public hearing?
Certainly. All right, Mr. Evans. So I will direct the committee's attention to the column signified 2024-25 approved budget. Now, you haven't approved the budget yet, but I'm going to walk you through these numbers. And the reason I'm going to do that is because the 24-25 proposed budget was, of course, prepared and published. Subsequent to publishing, we reformatted it, and Mr. Evans and I were able to speak, and we were able to update some numbers to more closely reflect what the actuals were. So thank you very much to Ron. And so the numbers that changed were that the managerial service item is expected to be closer to 80,000, not 45,000. That is reflective of the actuals that we're spending. We rounded off the legal services to 30,000, and then the other item that you will notice is that there is and this is the same between the two, is that we are anticipating an IGA with Marion County to bring in an additional 195,000 to the NSSA. Now that 195,000 is not yet secured. If you'll recall, this board sent Marion County a proposal for $275,000 this fiscal year back in the fall. At that time, Marion County had authorized an additional 80,000 and said, come back to us later with the proposal for 195. In conversation with Marion County staff this month and late last month, they are ready to receive that proposal. So staff will be working on creating that proposal. Of course, we'll bring it to the board, but it's anticipated that we'll be receiving 195,000 from Marion County. And after consultation with our finance director she advised that we go ahead and plan for that so that you don't have to come back and do a supplemental budget. So what we've done with that 195 is put it into sort of an others category. So the consumable supplies and materials is a sort of other, if you will, and the board can expend that at such time as it comes in. So those are the changes. I will take any additions from you, Mr. Evans?
The legal fund, the legal amount under the 2023 adopted of 125, that consists of actually the 5,000 that was originally legal, the 80,000 grant that we got from Marion County, as well as we reappropriated 20,000 from the managerial for where it goes from 69 to 49. That 29,000 is also included in that 125. Just show where that came from.
Any questions? I suppose I'll say the last piece on the reserves is that and you'll see that in the comment, the NSSA policy requires 3 months of operating expenses. But because the $80,000 from Marion County was specifically for legal services, we treated that as restricted funds and did not include it in the calculation for reserves. That same treatment was carried forward. Was not carried forward because we don't expect that the 195 will receive it will be restricted.
The other thing to note that was, before was carrying a contingency fund and a reserves, and that's been combined into one fund for this fiscal year.
Well, thank you guys for your work. Delighted to have you on that base instead of me. So at this point, I think we'll move forward with calling the North Santiam Sewer Authority Budget Committee meeting to order at 12:07 p.m. Laura and Ron have provided the budget explanation. So this is the time for any member of the public to speak for or against any item presented in the budget. Are there any interested parties in making comments about this budget? I think we have a requirement that we leave this open for at least 60 seconds, which we will do. Hearing none, we'll close the public budget hearing at 12:08 p.m. and open deliberations for the board. So at this point, unless there are any further discussion points from our group, I would entertain a motion, which I'm going to read because it's specific to the language we need in this process in order to meet the government requirements. And it is, I move to amend the proposed budget to increase the managerial expenditures from $45,000 to $80,000 and decrease the consumables by $35,000 and to increase legal expenditures to $30,000 and approve the amended proposed budget and recommend it to the board of directors for adoption. May I have a motion to that effect?
I have a question.
Can we wait until we have a motion and a second for discussion?
Sure.
All someone needs to say is move the motion.
Move the motion, Denny.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion, please.
I just have a question, and it's probably my own ignorance, so I'll apologize up front. I thought we have spent a good majority of the funding, but I'm looking at the approved 24-25 that we're looking at $285,000 when I thought it should be more like 230. Obviously I've missed something, so can somebody help me out?
Sure. I'm not sure when you joined the meeting. Can you let us know when you joined the meeting?
Denny was opening up and asking for public comment.
Okay, so no problem. So we're anticipating receiving 195,000 additional dollars in revenue from Marion County. So you'll see that under the Marion County IGA.
Okay.
We don't have that yet. We're just expecting, because we're still formatting the proposal, which of course will come back to the NSSA board for review prior to offering it to Marion County. But we are budgeting that amount as if we are receiving it. So you'll see the 195 under Marion County IGA, that we're expecting that your beginning fund balance, or what you'll have left over from this year at the start of July 1st of this year, will be about 90,000. So then combined would be 285. Then looking down, and I'm seeing your question in the chat about what do we expect consumables, supplies, and others to be. Think of consumables, supplies, and materials as an other category. We don't know, the board hasn't had a discussion about how it would spend this 195 yet, other than to know that it would need to cover its anticipated staff costs, which would look similar to this year, and some legal costs. And so we've placed that 105 into that other category, if you will.
Perfect. That works.
Okay.
Thanks, Janet.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? Motion passes unanimously. Is there any further business to come before the Budget Committee? If not, I declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you very much for your time and attention.
Thanks
Thanks.
all.
Thank you. Thank you.
You bet.
And thank you for coming down.
Yeah.
Well, she's just in Kaiser now.
No,
Oh.
stay.
Quits.